Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk with Kenny, episode 2. Today, I'm with a very special guest, my good friend, investor, past client, Jasmeet. Jasmeet, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me,
How are you
Kenny.
feeling?
It's my first time doing a podcast,
Okay, good.
so should I say I'm a little anxious, but pleasure to be here.
Good. It'll be fine, man. We'll have a good chat. So, Jasmeet, let me tell you guys a little bit about Jasmeet. Jasmeet is actually, I've known him for over 10 years. We actually met through cricket. We used to play in the different teams. That's how we connected. Jasmeet, I really, it actually has a very inspiring story. Jasmeet came here on his own, started from scratch. Today, he is an investor. He has completed his MBA from Rotman U of T and working in the corporate world as a senior manager. So, Jasmeet, tell us about your story. How did you start? Where did you begin?
Sure. I think my journey is no different than any other international student who came to the country in the late 2000s, 2009, 2010. I can't really recall correctly, but it was September. Very similar to any of your Amazon delivery drivers right now, or the people who serve you coffees at Tim Hortons as international students came from Northern India, Punjab. And similar story to them, was in school, did all of those work that as a student you're supposed to do to make a living and put food on the table. And then for some time, my undergrad as my trade is an engineer, worked as an
Okay.
engineer for some time. And I went for an MBA, as you mentioned, to University of Toronto, Rotman School of Management. We thought it's a good investment on top of an engineering degree. And then that's where my first real estate journey comes in as well on the crossroads.
I mean, that was amazing because you were starting your full-time MBA and then you bought at that time.
Correct.
that
Yes.
was big move.
I mean, these were, I think probably few of my gray hairs are from that time as well when I
Okay.
started. So started my MBA in 2015 September, and I think our closing was 15th of October 2015.
Yes.
While our purchase was in that summer of
Yeah.
2015.
So we actually got a pre-construction. It was almost done, but it
Correct.
was a
Yeah.
new build.
Correct.
In
Yeah.
downtown.
Yeah,
Yes.
Harbourfront
Yes.
condo.
That was
Yeah.
nice, man. Nice view, CN Tower view. You can't go wrong with that.
That was the whole point as well, investing in downtown, because I and my wife just wanted to enjoy the lifestyle. And somebody who came in as an immigrant you couldn't think of. I mean, it was pretty much what you would call a dream come true as well.
Yeah. So how do you think that was the right move though for you to buy something at that time?
Uh, I mean, I could not look back into it as a negative, right? Even when I look at it, and was that a sound financial decision? Definitely. Will I do it again if I had to? Maybe at the age where I'm at not. No, it was a risky move. As you said, you're going into a business school, and business schools are not cheap to go to as well.
and it's very hectic. And you
Yeah.
were not gonna work because you were going to school
Yeah.
full time.
Yeah. So, like the seeds of that investment were sown a lot of months before. Like at least there was a good 12 to 24 months of planning that went into it. Obviously, there is the support of my wife around. Maybe we should have had her on the podcast here with us as well.
Oh man, kudos to her. She
yeah.
was very supportive. I remember. I have a lot of respect for that.
So, I mean, I don't know if you want me to go into the backgrounds of how we came into that decision of doing all these two things at the same time.
Yeah, like I'm just wondering, like what
Yeah.
mindset, because that was too
Yeah.
much. Because when people are starting one chapter, it's two big moves at the same time. So
Right.
like that was definitely a brave
Yeah.
decision, though. Like, how did you guys get to that point?
See, I mean, investing in real estate was engraved in me that this is one of the things which is not a quick get rich quick scheme, but it is one of the life's biggest decisions that you want to enter as soon as possible. I knew that, and this is all I'm saying 2011, 2012, not even in the 2015s I'm talking about. So if you're going to go into an MBA for 2 years and you're going to make that investment, and then you will have loans to pay and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of the education was done going into understanding how our banking structures work. Are they broken? We can probably have a separate podcast about it. But what I wanted to do was have that asset as a hedge to say that if the MBA doesn't work out the way I think it will work out for me. But then again, going back to your point, we started investing or saving for this investment probably 2 years ago. Before investing into real estate, we were maxing out our RSPs because as a first-time home buyer,
Yes.
we could take that loan out for a down payment. Obviously, the asset prices at that time were not as high as they are today.
I remember we got it for 450,
It was in that
something.
450 range,
Yeah,
right?
one
Yeah.
1+10.
Yeah.
Right across CN Tower.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
love your view.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
yeah.
25 Lower Simcoe Street. I mean, if your viewers are watching, they
Okay,
can
there
just
you
look
go.
it up.
Now you know where it is.
Right? Yeah. So I think that's where there was a lot of strategic planning and a thought process that went into that purchase and an investment in yourself. Like they're both investment in yourself, like the education investment as well as buying an asset at the same time, and then understanding what was my best case scenario, knowing what some of the people who has gone into that same school with a profile like mine come out with, and trying to understand what could be my worst case scenario and how am I going to mitigate my risk if in case this thing doesn't go sideways. So that all thought process went into, and you were a part of the journey, so you would understand. I think we probably saw like hundreds of condos, and being clear on what you need as well
Yes.
was another thing, right? I still remember a lot. Like some of my family friends would literally call my parents in India, and they were like, what is your son doing buying a condo when for 450,000 you could literally buy a detached house at that time in Brampton?
Yes, but you wanted to live in downtown. Again, honestly, I think that was a good time because you were newly married at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have any kids, so I think the lifestyle was good for you. You enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
now you're back. You're out of downtown lifestyle. How is the so basically? Sorry, before going into that. So, how long did you live in downtown in that condo?
Just over 5 years.
5 years.
2015 to just when the pandemic hit, when we started searching for
Homes.
homes. Yeah.
I want to say something. So you know the house where you're living right now. So Jasmeet did not see the house when he bought it, because it was an interesting time. So COVID time, you know, since you were in downtown, so you were not able to come. So I remember that you asked me, like, there was a house that came in the market not too far from where I live, and I sent it to you, like, you know what, I don't think I can make it today. But I'm like, you know what, let me go have a look at it because it's close to me. So I went and I did a video call with you. You liked it. So you was like, you know what, put an offer without even seeing the house. Were you scared? Like, how did you feel at that time?
Yeah. See, it's a both way street. What I'm going to get to is it's about how we have built a relationship of trust with each other as well, and how you were supportive of our decisions as well. Like it was pandemic, the market was crazy, but you were patient enough to understand exactly my requirements, and I knew that you had a clear understanding of it, that exactly what my requirements are based on my family needs and my budget that we have. So it was about that trust that we had created, as you said. Is it the trust that we created because we have known each other for so long, or as a client as well? I think it's the process, the journey that we were going through, the buying process, where I actually felt comfortable and trusted your judgment.
Would you use me again? Oh wow, you had to think.
Came out of the blue, but obviously, definitely. The reason I paused was because I don't know when that point will come under, considering the market. But yeah, definitely. Why not?
No, thank you. I appreciate you trusting. You know what? I think the important thing, as you said, was for me to understand exactly what you're looking for, because I think I always say that our job is not just showing people homes. Our job is to understand what clients are looking for, their needs, and on top of that, you have to put clients' interests above all. And I appreciate you trusting me with that. I'm happy it worked out, because I remember when you came to see the house after it was done, because offer got accepted on the same day.
Yeah.
And you came to see the house the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I hope they did. But you were really happy. It was exactly how you anticipated.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well. Now, how do you feel about the market now? Like, as an investor, how do you feel?
Which is why the pause. This question, which is why the pause, that, the first thing that came to my head would be when.
Yeah.
Right? See, when it comes to investing, obviously from 2014 to 2023, a lot has changed.
Yes.
And what I feel about the current market is that I have become more sophisticated when it comes to investing as well. I have a family which I need to feed to as well. So that risk,
Yeah.
which I was more risky person. I'm more risk averse as well.
Yes. That's what kids do
So
to you.
yeah, exactly. Right. So, and plus, I mean, looking at, I've understood what I need from real estate. So, I mean, the way I look at the market right now is that it's not a fit for me.
Okay.
Right. It's not a fit for me until or unless it goes to say a pre-pandemic levels, right? And not that I'm saying it will go to a pre-pandemic level, and I'm not giving any financial advices, although I have my opinions about it. But I think as an investor, see or maybe I'll take a step back. When it comes to real estate, uh, and when it comes to real estate investing, you should not just focus on one thing. You buy it today and tomorrow it will be worth double. Real estate investing should always be about what is your cash flow, right? What is your mortgage pay down, and then comes the appreciation benefits that you get from it. So all of these things, when you look at these kind of things, mortgage rates currently are expensive. Do I see a downturn in the next 12 months? Who knows? Nobody knows about this, right? Because we've just gone through a very ambiguous phase through COVID. Are the asset prices going to rise? We don't know. If I invest now, will my tenants pay the rent? All of these
Oh, yeah,
unknowns, right?
yes.
So, which makes me think that, hey, let me be on the sidelines right now. Maybe I will lose a lot of money because the assets prices are very
But
cheap
you
right
want to be
now.
comfortable. You want to be,
Exactly.
and which understandably
Yeah.
based on your situation. Honestly, a lot of people have the same mindset. Like we're noticing in the market that look, exact same thing. Rates are really high. What is going to happen? Let's wait. Let's not put ourselves in a position where we jump in and things kind of get worse for us. So I think it's understandable, but at the same time. Which you would agree with me, even in where you're living right now, like in that neighborhood, prices have dropped by more than 25% almost. Like,
I actually
right?
think more than that.
Yeah,
Like
like at least
yesterday,
25
it's
average, right?
above that 30% range now.
So, yes, right now, I always tell people, look, if you are in a financial position where you can manage, where you're okay with the cash flow, I think this is a great time because only if you're okay with it financially. Like for example, let's just say that if today, yes, you're in a different life stage, but let's just say that we go back and you're back to where you were. Today would have been a great time for you to get in because there's not competition.
Yeah.
It's a buyer's market. And what you said, appreciation, I feel like this is one of the advantage for real estate is growth, wealth.
Yeah.
So you don't make money by paying down your mortgage, right? Like you're not going to get rich
Yeah.
with that. You're going to get rich when the value appreciates. So right now we know that there's a huge opportunity in the values. Of course, only if you're able to manage today.
Right, right. 100%. So this is exactly where I was going to get to as well. You're talking to an investor now who is paying for Montessori and daycare for two
Yeah.
kids.
Yes.
Right? And trying to figure those things out. The 2014 Jasmeet was a different
Different.
profile.
Very different.
Right? So, I mean, having that kind of profiles is where you need to assess your own, as I was mentioning about, hey, if I was to invest today, here's my best case scenario, and here's my worst case scenario. Am I covered for my worst case? For the best case is the best case, but am I covered for that worst case? What's the worst that can happen? These interest rates can go for another 2, 3, 4 years. Can you sustain those? Are these, I mean, are the real estate prices are going to go down forever? They are not going to go down forever. I mean, we are a country where, don't quote me on the data, but I think 25 to 30% of our GDP data numbers are directly or indirectly linked to real estate.
Real estate, yeah.
Right? We have a lot of aging and retiring population, which is going to retire in the next few years, and the biggest savings and the assets that they have is real estate.
Yeah.
If in case real estate is not going to give them the returns, CPP is not even going
It's not
to
enough.
pay
I mean,
for your
everything
groceries
is
right
expensive,
now.
man. Like right now, that's not
Yeah.
gonna do. That's not gonna do it.
So it's not just you, but the government is also invested in real estate, being bullish long term. So, I mean, it's all about if you have that ability to navigate through the next 2, 3, 4 years, and that's something that I ask myself, and which is why I'm on the sidelines. But if that's something that you do your own due diligence and you can, I definitely think there is never a wrong time to buy real estate. As they say, it's a saying that a lot of realtors use it. And that's one thing that I agree with. I'm 100% on.
Don't wait too.
Exactly. It's not about
What is
timing
it?
the market. It's about time in the
In the
market.
market,
And
absolutely.
and it's not just about real estate. It's about any investment that you do.
You got to give it time.
Exactly. I think that's something you need to look at yourself and have a own financial plan about it.
Yes. Okay. No, fair enough. Now let's talk about, there's always good things going on, but, success doesn't happen on its own. I'm sure there were some challenges where you were like, oh my God, why did I do that? So talk to us about, talk to our viewers, like how did you manage when things were a little bit tough or challenging? Because again, I'm sure especially times like this right now, for some people it's very difficult, right? So talk to us about, how did you manage and how do you feel about overcoming those challenges that you may have came across?
I think while you were asking me the question, the first thing that pops to my mind is I've been very blessed to have a support system that's around me, who's always there to support
That's your
the decision.
Yes.
Be it my wife, be it the family around me,
Blessing, yeah, that's a
and
blessing.
and the beautiful kids as well.
Yes.
And the second thing, I think it's the ability to be able to navigate the ambiguous situations too, right? So here's the ambiguous situation to your point, right? Talk to a realtor like yourself, right? Because see, you do this for a living. If I am in some kind of a tough situation, I'm sure there could be a solution that you can help with, or if it is related to mortgage or anything. So I lean on people who might be experts around my network with whom I can talk to, and they can help me with those situations. Same thing for my personal life as well, or for my more professional life as well. When I set my long-term 3 to 5 year goals, that's exactly what I do. Hey, this is the person who has done this, what I want to do. Let me book a coffee chat with this person, meet with them, let's pick their brains. And when it comes to real estate as well, I think we should invest time. Everyone should invest time in getting familiar with real estate investing. What are the fundamentals of real estate investing? I mean, it's funny. I don't know if I say that or not. Maybe you cut it down if you don't like it. But there are a lot of realtors in the market when I talk to them, and they don't even know what net operating income is. What's a cap rate, right? So when you're saying you're an investor, you need to know these kind of things.
Absolutely. You have to do your homework.
Exactly.
Look,
Yeah.
you're going through, after you're saving, you work
Yeah.
hard for your money, right? So you have to do your due diligence. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, educate yourself. Maybe I digressed a little bit, but that's what the crux of it is what's that's bugging you right now? What's the root cause? Can you talk to a mentor around you who can help you to navigate through the situation?
Yeah.
A lot of content on YouTube. A lot of my YouTube education has come from YouTube. I don't know if just YouTube, Matt McKeever. His content is very catered towards, and he doesn't do it anymore, but catered towards Canadian investing. I think he's a guy out of London, started off with student rentals in London around the university, and then grew his portfolio, now sold, and he's probably retired and gone into the boonies. But good for him. I consumed his content, so I wanted to give a big shout out to him.
Yeah, a lot of information. Like that's another good thing we have. Yeah.
I have read a book on real estate investing. I forgot the name, but it's from Don Campbell. So another sort of, maybe I can send you a snapshot, and if you want to just project it on, you can do that as well. So that's another way to. Sorry.
I'll read it.
There you go. Yes. Yeah. So that's another thing. And that book, to be honest with you, since I was introduced to it, I probably has read it already like at least 2 to 3 times.
Really? Okay.
And that's how every time I read about it, it either refreshes my mind about investing or it just re-emphasizes those things, like about some things that, when you're trying to understand the market, you tend to forget them. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell.
Okay. So one question for you: what is the definition of success for you?
Philosophical answer
to you,
Okay.
what's when you say somebody's success, what would you, based on your experience, what would you?
I think definition of success is time freedom.
Time freedom. Having the freedom to do.
You wake up on a Monday at 9 a.m. And you're very happy with what you're doing.
What?
And you're content with life.
Yes.
Right? I mean, when you say success, that's pretty much what it is, right? So I can't value time freedom over anything else. Like
Absolutely.
time freedom
I
is
agree
the
with you. I feel like,
biggest
look,
success.
money is important. We need money, but that's different thing, right? Of course, we should focus on that. But at the same time, I say that success is having the freedom to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Money is an important part. Money is
100%.
what will get you there too.
We need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
It's the lever.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
The more you have, the more
Yeah.
flexibility you have with things. But the key is you have to be content with, what you have at the same time. I feel like if you always focus on more and forget and ignore what you have today and how blessed you are, I think we should not take our eyes off of where we are today and be grateful from it.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question for you, Jasmeet. Now, what advice would you give to our viewers, people like yourself? You have your own story where you started from scratch. You've been here, and there are a lot of people, I'm sure, checking this podcast right now, where they may be at somewhere where you've already gone through. So, what advice would you give? What advice would you give people? Also, people for investments, for life, like based on your experience.
Man, I wish I could call myself a life expert, so I'll refrain from giving any kind of a life advice.
No, but based on you, like, how do you, like, what would you suggest?
Yeah, I think when it comes to going back to, like, if you are a new immigrant, if you are a student, like the way I came in, you can't just focus on your paycheck to paychecks, right? You have to start investing. There are multiple ways you can start investing. Maybe today it seems like a mountain of a task to invest to buy $1 million house, but there are ways to do it.
You start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere. I'll give you an example of one of my shouldn't call friend, but let's just say a work colleague kind of a thing. So that person was living in, if I'm not wrong, in Calgary, and they bought their first home there. They invested in a couple of partnerships in Calgary. And now they wanted to move back to Toronto. So they sold off their portfolio from there. And whatever they needed was not available in GTA.
Do they need a realtor here? Or?
Sorry?
Do they need a realtor here?
Oh, I will definitely.
I know of one, maybe.
Right. I can definitely recommend you. But going back to the point too, right? So they then invested in Kitchener.
Okay.
Right? Knowing what they needed. So that was one avenue of, hey, my life has to be around GTA. I want to live in GTA. But maybe I have to give this up for a few years and move somewhere.
Yes.
Or you don't have to give it up. You can just buy real estate as an investment outside. And once you have sort of equity, then you can come back. There are online platforms. I think Addy is another platform where you can be just like buying stocks. You can invest with them. You can buy a lot of REITs, just open a brokerage account, be invested into real estate.
Start as soon as you can.
Start some kind of investing, educate yourself into one piece, give yourself at least 2 to 3 years to start investing in it before giving up on it. Once you have given enough time to it, then it's time to give up on those goals. And funny thing, I'll go back to your point about my MBA as well, right? Even today as well, people laugh at me when I tell them why I did my MBA. And my one most fundamental thing, which was like which helped me to jump the decision-making process as well, was that I didn't want it to be a mid-40s or 40 and regret that I didn't go to a business school and didn't switch my lines. And that was one of the biggest levers that
no regrets. No
exactly,
yeah.
Exactly, right? So, yeah, I mean, investing is not just real estate. Investing literally could mean
in yourself,
yeah. In your education.
Best investment, yeah.
Right? Or investing in your business. You're passionate about cooking. Maybe a restaurant is a good business for you, but that is also an investment.
Make moves. Yeah,
exactly.
Don't be scared.
Yeah.
And like going back to a little bit, you talk about your friend moving to Kitchener. Now we know that GTA prices have been skyrocketing because of the inflow of people we had. So I tell people, if you are not able to get into the GTA real estate market, it's okay. Maybe go somewhere outside of GTA. Even if you don't want to move, maybe you take it, get it as an investment property. You know, at least be in the market.
Yeah.
Once you, as you said earlier, you know, when you put time in the market, if you have done your due diligence, you made sure that you get something, you know, that meets your requirement. With the time, it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
And then, you know, once you are in a better position, then you have more flexibility, then you have more freedom, then you have better options to work with. But the key is going back to what you said, enter in the game as soon as you can, because it's the time you spend in the market that's what's going to count.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
definitely. Maybe I'll flip this question back to you as well, right? What's the advice you're giving to somebody? Let's just say people like me. They've come to the country in the last 3-4 years as an immigrant. What's the way to start? And I ask this question because I actually find you as a person, not just taking your realtor's profile out, as a person as well, who has, I've seen you as well make your way up from where you've come from, and working hard to understand the markets, and knowing where you're at right now as well, right? So I mean, how many years? 20 plus years just living in GTA.
Yeah, I've
Right.
moved there too.
Knowing the market. I think maybe that's something I should emphasize to your listeners as well, right? So I'm not like, say, sort of sponsoring it, but I just think you cannot devalue somebody who has lived 20 plus, 30 plus years and know each and every street of a market. The importance of going with a person like this who has a knowledge and expertise in, are not just understanding who you are, but understanding where you want to buy.
Yeah. Honestly, I appreciate you saying it. And of course, I didn't ask you to say it, just for the record. You know what? I tell people right now, which is, you know, it's very black and white. Right now, it's very, you know, affordability is a big challenge, you know, because of these interest rates. But I totally agree with what you said. Not that because this is what I do for a living. I've seen people like yourself. You're a best example in front of us right now, where you started from scratch. You worked hard. You started with one property. Look, today you were an investor. You know, you were able to use some equity as well for some of the other things. I tell people, look, when you are buying real estate, especially when you buy your first place, it's always going to be the most challenging one. Because look, you know, you might be renting or you might be sharing with somebody. All of a sudden, when you buy, your expenses go up. So that's a big hit. But at the same time, it's a good hit because you're putting yourself in a position where you can start, you know, increasing your wealth. So my advice to people right now is, look, do your numbers. Yes, it's not going to be a comfortable place to be, you know, if you were to do something today in real estate, it's not a comfortable place, mind you. However, it's still, if numbers are making sense, I see a huge opportunity right now. I see a huge opportunity for a lot of people if they are able to get in the market, because we know like the minute the interest rate is you know, it's gonna start adjusting, or even because right now there's a fear in people's mind. Oh, you know, the rates are gonna go up, prices are gonna come down. Oh no. Yes, it's normal, it's understandable, but at the same time we have to be realistic. It's been a while now, and you know the way things are, I feel like we're almost done with the worst time. I feel like as soon as these things get better with interest rate, it's going to get really crazy. And prices are going up based on supply and demand. When there are multiple offers, it's gonna, you know, we can see, literally we have seen even recently where in months we can see a 5 to 10% price jump when rates stop increasing. So right now, if people are, and for people starting fresh, you know, savings, you know, I always say focus on making more money. You know, that's what I say. And going back to what you say, you know, don't go paycheck. Yes. And you know, in today's world, 2023, you have so much opportunity. Look for ways, you know, everybody is smart, everybody is, you know, special in their own way. Look for opportunities where you can start making more money. Once you start making more money, then you have more options to work with. But the key is, somebody starting off, look for pre-construction. I think that's a good start right now, even outside of GTA. Get in the game. Find something with a lower deposit. That's going to be the most challenging time. But once you invested, give it some time, things going normal, that's when you're going to give yourself a head start. Because I see opportunity right now. But you have to look at your numbers, because I always say when you're investing or buying, you're not buying to make your life difficult. You're buying to make your life better. So yes, there will be a little bit of uncomfortable, you know, steps. But as long as you can take care of it, you can manage, no better time.
I agree with you as well. I mean, I think there's a difference between a first-time home buyer and an investor, right? I think we've spoken a lot about investors, but maybe I'll pitch in as my viewpoint of
First time.
a first time. If you are a first-time home buyer, you are in your 20s, maybe mid-20s, you are in that range, and your numbers when it comes to financial suggest that you have an ability to enter the market with whatever asset it is. Just enter it.
Enter. And of course, like nobody's saying, just like you have to keep living life, right? But if you can somehow manage, we have so much options. That's the key. Jasmeet, thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.